Yeah, there it is. That's what it looks like to get folded by a falcon.
Hey, Nikki.
Yes,
What's your favorite
Ghostface.
scary video?
The psychotic hunting habits of Satan's favorite birds.
Well, that's good, because today we're watching Casual Geographic.
Good. And I actually haven't watched this video.
Oh my god. It's finally time to watch this crazy... You know, birds... To me, birds are like... They're like dinosaurs.
They are.
They're like dinosaurs that can fly.
Yeah.
But they don't breathe fire. They rain down hellfire from the sky with fucking talons and beaks.
Last I checked, dinosaurs didn't breathe fire either. That's dragons.
Right, but you would think a dinosaur with wings is a dragon, right? No, they turned into birds. And instead of breathing fire down, they shit all over your vehicle and all
I've
over
had
your
one
stuff.
shit on my shoulder before, just walking around, and there was a seagull that got
That mask made my nose itch so bad, and look how red my nose is.
Red nose. This wig is making my head itch so bad.
Yeah. Nikki loves Halloween. I like Halloween candy.
It's my favorite time of the year.
I like it. I think Halloween's fun. There's a lot of cool shit about Halloween. I just don't really like having like a mask on all the time. Masks are difficult. Dude, people who wrestle in masks, like a lot of the luchadors that I thought were cool as shit, I now respect a lot more because
you can't
of
breathe.
Holy shit, dude. Like La Parka was my favorite luchador.
And like, I know that like during COVID, when people were out running and stuff,
yeah.
like their lung capacity actually supposedly got better because
Yeah.
of that. So like, I wonder if wrestlers who wear masks are just like great capacity.
I think it depends. Like some masks don't cover up your face all like that.
Oh, it's like the cutout.
But like La Parka's mask fucking did. That motherfucker wore the Grim. You've seen him, the Grim Reaper looking wrestler that has like the bone suit on.
I'm thinking of the guy with the green mask.
Nah, you think about Rey Mysterio Jr.
Yeah.
That's the guy. That's the wrestler all Americans know.
Yeah.
The luchador all Americans know. La Parka was the shit. He was in WCW at one point, and you know Goldberg was coming through there smashing everybody like crazy, like everybody.
Smashing everybody.
He was just smashing everybody. His finishing move was called the jackhammer. So yes, he was smashing people. But and it was like the matches with him were supposed to be over quick. Like he does 2 moves and it's over. And La Parka knew that he had to come out and do his thing. So he was like, brought a chair, was playing it like a guitar into the ring and set it up in the middle of the ring and like was dancing around on one leg. And then he turns and Goldberg hits him with a spear. Jackhammer.
All right, Satan's favorite birds.
Satan's favorite birds. We're talking about badass beak bastards that are diving down from the sky to fucking shit on you and rip out your eyes.
I never knew about that nasty bird who goes in with the blood and all that until we watched Casual Geographic.
He is
I learned some shit.
Yeah, you're gonna
And
learn
isn't
some
it like
shit.
it goes somewhere it shouldn't go?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
You talking about ripping their ass out or something?
We're probably going to be seeing that.
Nikki, hand me my hat so we can get this motherfucker on. Anyway, now that we're back, I'm ready to watch this video. Are you?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
NANI?
Okay.
Slick back. That's what I said. Slick back. No, I'm a pimp named Slick back.
Oh my god.
Slick back.
You see this nest? You want to know what built this nest? You don't want to know what built this nest. You want to know what made these bones? You don't want to know what made these.
Oh, that was Courage the Cowardly Dog.
This bird's a buckbeak coated me to my mental stability. The harpy equals a homicidal hippogriff with the jungle's census on its hit list. And a big reason is harpies having the largest claws of any bird. Not only do they have vice grip talons that could comfortably dap up a grizzly bear's paws, they say getting gripped by them is like getting caught in a Rottweiler's jaws. They're the national bird of Panama, but you finna be pantomiming once this Jurassic reject takes your breath. by crushing your windpipe. But by far the most out-of-pocket thing is what nature went ahead and did with their wings. Unlike most birds its size, harpy eagles have relatively short wings. I'm talking about if eagles were the NBA, this would be their build. But the short wings just means this life unsubscription service can duck and weave through the dense jungle to catch a body. Which also means there are very few things alive in the Amazon that a hunting harpy can't pack up, from monkeys and sloths to armadillos, snakes, and porcupines to other predators like ocelots and foxes. They'll also body other birds like parrots, and they'll even murk other raptors like vultures. But then, what even is a raptor? The answer might just surprise you. Raptors are what most people might call birds of prey, which is already a problem because there's plenty of other birds that'll have you preying. So the raptor title gets gatekept to the birds with all three: a sharp hooked beak, a Jurassic-style pedicure and talons, and an OP sense of sight. So without a hooked beak but webbed feet, the demonic garbage chute misses the cut. Chronic Crash Out the Canada Goose doesn't sit at the raptor lunch table because if it did, it probably would have seen that coming. But the whole raptor thing's a pain in the prostate, and it's because raptors, they're basically cats that can fly. You remember the cat video I made and how insanely convoluted the names got? Like how a black panther isn't actually an animal, a cat called a panther isn't actually a panther, a snow leopard is genetically closer to a tiger, and how a cougar pushing 220 ain't a big cat, but a cat barely a $110 is. Raptors are low-key the same, where the name raptor doesn't describe a family reunion, but like Black Panther, raptor is more like a description. But I'm gonna get to that. Now, the other problem with raptors is that nature basically bamboozled them. Of course, the ability to fly is broken, but it comes with hollow bones. Now, hollow bones aren't to keep the bird light enough for flight. It's more that pneumatic bones are filled with air and so give extra oxygen to fuel their flight. But it also means a broken bone is a career-ending injury for an avian, and as hunters, they run the risk of getting folded by their own prey. The compromise is, raptors have some of the most heinously creative ways of confiscating consciousness, revoking your existence. Whatever you want to call it, the bird of prey hunting strat is straight out of the pages of a mob boss's torture diary. And we can start with the secretary bird, aka Jurassic Park in yoga pants, named after the fact that, like a secretary, they'll connect you to the big boss upstairs if you give them the chance. They cancel prey by kicking them in the head until they flatline or just lie flat. Their usual targets are snakes. The combo of delivering multiple kicks in the time it takes to blink, and how disrespectfully accurate they are, all adds up to a 6-piece serpent assault where they spam a river dance on a snake's skull until it caves in, leaving the snake out of order like a reptile dysfunction. You gotta hand it to them. That's pretty metal. Actually, you should do the opposite, since the Kung Fu crane can apparently shatter the bones in a human hand. And it's not just snakes. Secretaries will go after things like cheetah cubs and baby gazelle. I think now is a good time to mention they can be an honest 4 feet tall, with a thigh gap no less. As you can see, they're liable to violate snakes and beauty standards, all while being one of the few birds with 2 pairs of wings, no Red Bull. This high-stepping battery charges with all the smoke, literally, because they'll gather around brush fires just for the opportunity to murk any small animal running for its life. Don't let the pretty privilege distract you. It's an African assassin chicken and thigh boots dressed like a recently divorced mother of 3. And they're not the only ones, because I'll be honest, I low-key forgot this bird existed. This is a Seriama. It's basically a Latin secretary bird, but the real family tree flexes they're the only living relatives of terror birds. Yes, those terror birds. They might be less vertically gifted at less than 2 feet tall, but instead of kicking, Seriamas rather body slam their prey to death. The dinosaur time forgot will grab prey and slam them into the ground or against a rock. Repeatedly. They'll spam suplex as many times as it takes for the bones to break. And if you're too big for all that, they'll use the same sickle claw their prehistoric cousins used to hold down prey and disembowel it alive. So if you get targeted by a Seriama, you'll either get the Hulk to Loki treatment, except from a travel-sized terror turkey, eviscerated and violated while pinned by a weaponized toenail, or just swallowed clean like a vorophile's wet dream. So far, we have a curb-stomping aggro bird and a mob boss build and terror bird final form. And we're just getting started. This is a kite, and before you ask, this was named after the bird, not the other way around. A kite is like the forgotten little brother of eagles and hawks, and like a kite, they catch bodies by hovering above the ground and waiting for movement so they can swoop down and snatch it. I believe kiting is the expression. They're pretty cool. They grief many of the insects that make life slightly less worth living. The 17-year cicada parade is basically their Super Bowl. Like the secretary bird, they too will gather around grass fires, and any animal trying to run from the smoke gets ironically cooked. But Australian black kites take it a step felony by carrying burning twigs and dropping them on patches of grass. An act of avian arson that got them another name: Firehawks. Apparently this is nothing new, with records of them stealing brands from indigenous cooking fires and dropping them half a mile away. There have even been scientific records of them dropping bread into water to bait small fish, and if it wasn't for this clip, I probably wouldn't believe it. You'd think an aerial arsonist airdropping inferno in a country that has up to 60,000 wildfires a year would immediately get blacklisted. But no, black kites are protected because, once again, of course a felon with wings is above the law. They're also banned in Boston, but only because we all know Boston can't stand the heat. Now I have a whole video on owls, so I'm not going to talk too much about them. But this is the start of what I was talking about, because you'd normally expect a raptor to be related to are the raptors. Instead, the owl's closest relative looks like a Muppet flashlight. Flashlight? What is that? Oh! I can't say that. Owls are predators on incognito, thanks to feathers that allow them to fly almost completely silently. Again, you don't realize how unsettling that is till you go to bed a family and wake up a single mother. They also have a satellite dish for a face and uneven ears, so even under a foot of snow, they can hear exactly where you're about to go. Owls are 100% the closest thing to cryptids with wings, and while they haven't murked people, allegedly, there's plenty of predators that do feed off unsuspecting humans, just like you, including arguably the worst predator of all. Data brokers. There's a lot of data brokers that feed themselves by collecting your personal information and selling it to the highest bidder. And it's deeper than selling your browser history to companies wanting to know what to sell you back. Some insurance companies will team up with brokers and actually raise your rates based on what you put out online. Cyber criminals can steal personal info like your social security from a broker, and if you've ever gotten one of those robocalls, I think you know who slid them your number. Yeah, the owls don't seem so bad now. Now you can email takedown requests to these sites with your info, but 1, there's just way too many and you will get overwhelmed. 2, I don't have a real job and I don't have time for that, so I know you don't. But 3, even if you run the gauntlet, in a week it won't matter because it'll probably be back up there. You're up against a predator that plots incognito. So it's only right that you defend yourself with Incognito, because Incognito will scan the recesses of the internet for your personals and submit takedowns on your behalf. And if a company pushes back and refuses, because honestly, why wouldn't they? Incognito won't let up, and they'll keep checking to make sure you don't get put back in the system. And assuming you survive the aneurysm of finding out just how many people have your information, you can rest easy knowing Incognito basically puts you on a whitelist against predatory brokers. The number of victims of data breaches has gone up over 40% in the last few years, and if you don't want to be a statistic, make sure you go to incognito.com/casualgeo and use the code casualgeo for 60% off an annual plan to guard your private data. Because believe me, if you knew some of the places your info is right now, your head would spin. Kinda like, wait for it. Yeah, there it is. That's what it looks like to get folded by a falcon. You see, falcons are cool, but they're weaker than eagles and hawks, so instead they commit to the fastest hitting runs on Earth. Literally, the fastest. So falcons like the peregrine will start up high and dive, that's called the stoop, and once the flying derecho hits triple-digit miles per hour, they'll ball up their feet like a fist. So yeah, they really do falcon punch their prey in the past tense. They didn't even give them time to duck. Not only that, but falcons also have a toenail tooth made specifically to snap spinal cords and send prey to the Lord like Sunday service, all while flying. The one-shot specialist has been known to snipe bald and golden eagles threatening their nest. And there was one time a snowy owl murked a falcon fledgling, so the mother falcon went and life-deprived the owl. There's a lot of ways falcons are built for speed, but the biggest flex is that they have the fastest processing speed of any animal alive. Compared to us, they see the world in slow motion. Falcons are dope, but because of them we have to address the whole raptor thing again. Because instead of hawks, eagles, or any other bird of prey, the missile with wings is most related to parrots.
What?
So again, raptor isn't a family name, most of them aren't even closely related. But there are a lot of falcons, like the American kestrel. I like them because they're pretty. Small. The colorway ain't bad either. They also factory reset prey by stabbing them in the back of the head with that tooth, but you can't deny this psychopath's cute. The black-thighed falconet is the smallest bird of prey in the weight class of a sparrow, yet they also find a way to pack up other birds. The pygmy falcon is a nest pirate that often shacks up in the homes of weaver birds. Normally it's a good gig with the pygmies clearing out snakes and lizards, but sometimes they'll switch up and kill their weaver bird roommates, so there's that. But there's another falcon that might just be the biggest bird off of all, and it might also be the most underrated. Next to bad is the caracara. The caracara is a black Air Force parrot. Unlike every other falcon, they'd rather handle business on the ground. They live on honey badger timing, since they'll pull up to a carcass and bully bigger vultures out the way. The crested caracara is a special kind of klepto. They'll straight up mob other birds like pelicans and press them into vomiting their lunch so they can have it. Striated caracaras and the falcons are a Pennywise level threat to minor safety. You know, raptor comes from the Latin word to seize or take by force. That's what this avian Amber Alert lives by. Caracaras will also link up with each other and form gangs and have honest-to-God turf wars. Even back in the day, they were on Darwin's radar. In 1830, he mentioned how curious they were, but also how annoying it was to live around a bird that'll steal anything that isn't nailed down. Turns out this affiliated delinquent of a bird is low-key the gifted student of the raptor class, and is even smart enough to solve puzzles for fun. Basically, caracaras are if the peregrine falcon and the secretary bird had a baby, but it was adopted and raised by crows and tutored by the key on weekends. Just an overall underrated menace of a dinosaur, but also a hyper-intelligent, talented opportunist. Actually, I take that back. Vultures might be the most underrated. People assume something with the feeding habits of a casket is a pushover, and they do get their cookies taken by other raptors. But vultures very much can be about that life too, especially since black vultures often won't wait for an animal to expire. They'll put weak, sick, or young animals on a shirt. Some farmers know all too well. Sometimes they'll wait for a cow to give birth just to jump the newborn and return to sender. Sometimes they won't even wait and they'll move on a cow in labor and act like the world's most malicious midwives. Getting violated by vultures means eyes gouged out, tongue torn off, and they'll even break through the back door. Basically the booty warrior of birds, but unlike
Yeah.
the next, this one's
Warrior?
That's
protected.
what
From
I
a
remember
surgical
that.
psychopath to a scavenger. Yet a bearded vulture eats almost nothing but bones, and they've even been known to swallow ones nearly a foot long. But once in a while, they'll go after the living, sometimes in the form of airdropping a tortoise hundreds of feet to feed on the insides like a piñata. You know, mountain climbers were so spiritually disturbed by the beardy, they called it the bird of Satan. To be fair, they have a sclera ring around their eyes that fills with blood when stressed and makes their eyes turn bloodshot when running a fade. The Grim Reaper's Vorking with a whole showering gun activated. I don't blame him, that is demonic character design.
Dude.
Also, a bearded vulture allegedly murked a man with a turtle shell to the head like Mario Kart, which sounds fake, but keep in mind, there's a woman walking around with scars from breaking a porcupine's fall. RNG can be a real ass. All that, and you still can't show me a bird with the harpy eagle's aura. We already mentioned the life-canceling claws that could probably crush your skull, which is why harpy eagles have a prey list of over 116 species. And that includes
Holy
putting other
shit.
raptors like Seriamas and vultures on shirts. Don't think for one second nature came out with this and stopped there. The African crowned eagle is basically the harpy of the motherland. Same survival-revoking claws, and same short wings to make it a menace to monkey kind. And they're the only raptor to allegedly see people as prey, with reports of human child remains in nests and the infamous tongue child believed to have been packed up by an African crown. Honestly, any continent outside of Penguin Land has at least one of these eagles. Australian wedgetails go after kangaroos and dingoes. Their territory enough to fade a $1,000 drone on site. There was one time a wedgie fought a helicopter and won, past tensing a pilot in the process. R.I.P.
What?
The North American golden eagle has a hit list of prey in the 400s. But really their claim to fame is how they'll give goats a first-class flight to the gulag with no return trip. I'm sorry, this is so disrespectful. Look at this animation.
my God.
He gave him an NPC death, gave him nothing but time to reflect. There's the Philippine eagle, which honestly mogs the out of everyone for no reason. But there might not be a bigger flex than the stellar sea eagle. You know, if this wasn't on camera, nobody'd ever believe you. It's one of the heaviest eagles on Earth with an 8-foot wingspan. It's an oppressive force in Featherface that's apparently been seen carting off seals. Clearly the meteor told him to take a sick day, cause dog, you're not telling me that's not a dinosaur. And low
Dude.
they might
Seriously.
go the same way. For all the harpy hate I was talking, there's no recorded case of a harpy eagle killing or even attacking a human. In fact, it's them not being afraid of humans that can get them put on a shirt by poachers. Add habitat destruction, and if raptors like them aren't endangered, they're at least in danger of being endangered. Which is why you got places like the Raptor Trust in Millington, New Jersey, looking after all kinds of birds from Ollie the kestrel to Virgil the turkey vulture. They got couples too, like Mariah and Thor the golden eagles. They're mad cute together. And of course, the symbol of America, Colonel and Uno. Uno because of the whole one wing thing. And even though they're technically not raptors, I even met Ray the Raven. You know what's crazy? He's in a cage, and he's in a relationship with another wild raven. Like, he'll even sneak food between the bars of his cage for her. You know what's crazier? His girl has a whole nother family in the wild. I usually don't rock with home wreckers, but I'm rocking with Ray. But like I said, my favorites were definitely the owls, especially this barred owl named Sunny. I think he liked me. Although the vultures gotta be a close second, since they'll literally walk up and follow you around like a puppy. Oh, this isn't sponsored, by the way. I just had a good time and wanted to shout them out. So if you're ever in the area, the Raptor Trust in Millington, New Jersey, 100% recommended. But that's gonna do it for this video. Drink water, hug your mother, forget that. Shout out to Incogni for sponsoring this video. Shout out to the Pigeon Paralysis Demon for sponsoring Imagination. And I'ma see y'all in the next one.
Whoa.
Dude, it would totally kill it. Oh my gosh.
Would you protect?
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Sushi away
You
from
need to
one of
pop
those?
the video off, and this one, they wouldn't even have to spit the fur off of it.
Yeah.
You
he
know,
ain't got no fur.
They would be like, oh, this is a great treat today. But I think they could pick you up and cart you off and would have no problems.
I think you're right. He's already packed and prepared. Dude, a pilot got assassinated.
Yeah, I don't
by-
know what all that's about, but if somebody could put that in the comments.
what I
'cause
was
I'm
thinking is, like,
curious, and I'll
Those
forget,
helicopters that just have the sides open.
and it flew through.
Maybe.
Or it landed on the windshield and then he couldn't see. Or
I don't
it went
know.
into like the...
At first I thought the windshield, but I'm like,
Like, what if it went into like the motor, like the turbine
And fucked
part,
it up.
and then like fucked it up and then like it couldn't... Nah, I feel like it would just...
We need to know, did the bird survive?
No, I'm sure it did.
You know?
They both probably.
That would be the scariest thing, is if it could just be like, ha, and then leave, and then you're fucked.
Yeah, like
somehow.
I don't really care for birds. They kind of scare me a little bit.
Dude, birds are terrifying.
Are
you kidding me? They're literal dinosaurs, dude.
Yeah.
Birds are literally dinosaurs.
Like,
now, there have been some that have been really sweet that I've met.
Yeah.
But I have also met some mean ones. And
Yeah.
they're like the chihuahuas of the feathery flight. You know, they're like
And if it's
trying to fuck you up
big
most of
enough
the time.
beak, like your finger's gonna be gone or your eyeball's gonna be gone.
Dude, I just know that.
No. Now I did
I don't
see
fuck
this
with
one. I think it's a variation of a cockatiel. I don't know the bird names and everything, but it was this. I mean, it was like probably like this big, and it was like a powdery pink, and it was so beautiful. And then my best friend, they had an African gray, and so when I was a kid,
big as shit.
I remember she was like, her dad was like gonna get it out, and I was like, no, like let me go home first, you know. And she's like, it's fine, and like she let it out, and it was just like, you know, doing that, and I was like, it's like a dinosaur, it's gonna come out. She's like, just don't do anything, and it's not gonna mess with you, but it just terrified me. And then actually there was this one year where I went to a convention type thing when I was a kid, and the survivor guy, I want to say, oh gosh, I can't think of his name. The guy who always wore overalls. He's from like around here. I can't think of his name.
I know who you're talking about.
Anyway, he was going to be there, but we ended up being late, and he already dipped out, so that didn't happen. And they had like this huge, the yellow pythons.
Oh, yeah.
Where you could take a picture with it, and I just like don't do snakes.
So you're just scared.
So I took a picture with a parrot.
Yeah.
But I was so scared. It would be so funny if I could find it and show you guys. I had like a SpongeBob shirt on, and I think I had cut my bangs, so like I look stupid as shit. But I have this parrot on my shoulder, and I'm like over, my neck is like over as far as I can get it because I'm so scared.
I did the thing at Dollywood where you let the buzzard land on your arm.
They don't have buzzards. They have eagles.
No, they got a buzzard too.
That they let you do that? That must not be a thing.
I got to put the thing on.
You're kidding me.
And I just had to stand there like this.
Are you sure it wasn't an eagle?
No, it was not. Of course I would know if it was an eagle.
Okay.
This was a buzzard, I'm pretty sure.
And they have like a whole section where they have eagles.
Fucking like, yeah, it was in the same section. You know how they had the
stage
and the auditorium thing near there? That's what it was. It was a raptor exhibit thing. And
oh wait, no, they do have some hawks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They do have a couple, but they have like
so was
the
it
outside.
A vulture?
It might have.
Or was it a buzzard? I can't remember. It was big as shit. And I was able to hold my arm out like this, and it flew and it fucking landed on my shit. And they were just, but they were like, it's got to be somebody who's like, you know, I was probably like a 20-year-old dude.
Oh,
at that
okay.
time.
You were like 7.
No,
okay.
And they were just like, you got to be able to hold this thing up. If anybody would like to try it out, I was just like,
you're crazy. I would have never thought that you would have done that.
I was drunk.
Oh, okay. It makes sense. Because I just don't see you volunteering for that today.
No, dude. Me and the homies had taken quite a few of the flight bottles. Yeah. Because somebody's like aunt or somebody had given them to them for Christmas. And it was just like
a nice gift.
A shit ton
I thought you meant the Dollywood
flight
passes.
bottles. No.
Oh,
and so we just like pounded them all the way from Wise.
Nice. Do you remember? I think it might be the only time you and I have ever gone. No, we went to Dollywood twice.
We've
together.
been a couple of times. Yeah.
And we were so hungover, and we were like couldn't wake up. And you're like, do you just want to like not go? And I was like, no, we have to go ride rides. And we were so hungover, and we did.
Yeah.
We did. Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, that thing landed on my arm, and it was like somebody grabbing you. Yeah, it wasn't like being mean or anything.
But
it was
was strong.
I'm here, you know. But it was just like
Did it
when
have
it
like
landed,
the neck, like the whole
yeah.
Oh, I hate it. Oh no.
Yeah.
Like the whole, what I'm trying to think of, what is Mr. Burns? That's what it kind of.
Yeah. I just remember it being so heavy that like I like was
weighted
putting
down.
my arm down because like not on purpose, but just when
Right.
it landed, and it was like still doing its wings because
Trying
my
to
arm was
come
going
up.
down. Yeah. I was just like, and it was like had grabbed onto me, and I was just like, dude, I really think this thing could maybe take my arm. Like,
They have a roller coaster. It's the eagle, the something eagle,
Yeah.
flying eagle, screaming eagle, something.
Yeah.
That one's really fun.
maybe we should ride it soon.
We should. I know. I wanted to go for Halloween, but we still
haven't.
haven't.
But yeah, these birds are scary, dude. That's something that I get scared about, like having sushi outside.
Well,
Like, I don't
the
think,
only time I let him out is if I put him in Shorty's crate, because like,
I think that like one of the hawks or something might try to come after Shorty, but then
He's
they
too
would,
fat.
yeah, then they would be like, "Oh fuck, you fat bitch!" Like,
yeah,
we
he
can't-
looks little, but
yeah,
it's very
like from
deceiving.
this angle up here,
Yeah.
they might just come down and be like, "Oh shit,
Yeah, no,
fuck that,
it couldn't.
that's a fucking hippo."
Right?
Yeah, that's crazy. But just to know that these things are on planet Earth, that I don't know, man. That video of them goats getting thrown down a mountain, like
Oh wait, yeah,
like Shorty's probably around that weight of a goat.
a goat.
Yeah,
It's just like much shorter legs.
yeah, dude.
A goat. Off the map, and you know that goat don't know what is going on.
Dude, he was talking about the physics, like giving him time to think about it. Like,
that's
damn,
so
that's
fucked
real,
up.
man. That goat was just like, oh.
He mentioned
shit.
the butthole birds.
Yes,
whatever
it was
their
a brief.
names.
It was a brief mention.
Thank goodness, and no pictures.
Ugh. Dude,
Yep.
I feel like sometimes Taco Bell does that to me.
Oh my god.
Drags
All
my
right.
whole shit out of my ass.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this. You know.
Bye.
See you guys.